So the London Overground line names have changed forever. But what if they've changed too, and what else has changed on the network? Let's find out. So what are the new names going to be? First we have the Liberty Line. This is the line that runs from Romford to Upminster. This is going to be coloured grey, and the reason for this name is the historical independence of the people of Havering. Next is the Lioness Line. This is the line that runs from Watford Junction to Euston, and this is going to be coloured yellow, and the naming is to honour the national women's football team. Next is the Mildmay Line. This is the line that runs from Richmond and Clapham Junction to Stratford. This is going to be coloured blue, and the naming of this line is due to a hospital in Shoreditch that helped people in the HIV and AIDS crisis in the 80s. The next line is the Suffragette Line. This is the line that runs between Gospel Oak and Barking, previously known as the Goblin Line. This is going to be coloured green, and the naming of this is to pay homage to the suffragettes. The next name is the Weaver Line, which is for the services that run from Liverpool Street to Enfield Town, Cheshunt and Chingford. This is coloured maroon, and the naming is to pay tribute to the areas that were known for the textile trades. Lastly, the Windrush Line. This is the name for the lines that run from Highbury Islington to Clapham Junction, New Cross, Crystal Palace and West Croydon. And this is going to be coloured red, and the name of this is to honour the Windrush generation. So now we know the names of the new lines, it's time to discuss what's actually going to change on the network. So the map. The map now includes all the different names and colours of the new lines, so it's easy to differentiate between the different lines. So at the stations, the boards are going to have the different lines and colours of the new lines, which is going to be especially useful for stations that have more than one overground line, so it's easy to differentiate between the different lines as well, so you know which platform to go to for which specific line. However, the majority of the signage is going to stay the same, especially the big orange logo, that's going to stay the same, and the station exteriors where it says Overground, that's going to stay the same. So on the trains, it will display a map of all the different lines available on the London Overground, as it's done previously, but with the new names and the new colours. Also new is the announcements on the trains. So previously it just said this is a London Overground service to, but now it will say this is a Windrush line service to, or a Suffragette line service to, or a Liberty line service to, which I think is a nice added touch, so it allows people to be aware of what specific line they're on.
This is a Mildmay Line train to Stratford. The next station is Westhampton.
And lastly, what's visually going to change is the information of the services. So when there's a disruption on one particular line, it will just state that line specifically instead of saying overground overall. And again, I think that will add to the clarity in ensuring people are aware of what specific line has disruptions or cancellations on it rather than just the overground network in general. So look, we know what the new names of the lines are, we know what the new colours are, and we know what's going to happen on the network as a whole, but why is this even happening? So, most of us know and refer to London Overground as the Orange Line, when if you think about it, it can be quite confusing if you're using it as the reference point, as the line you're going to be using to travel to a location. Jeez, I'm running late, let's check where Arnold is. Hello? Hi there, mate. You all right? Yes, I'm fine. I'm on my way to the station now. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I just left. How do you plan on getting there? I'm gonna jump on the Orange Line. Okay, cool. Which one? What do you mean, which one? What? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Arnold, there's more than one Orange Overground line. What do you mean? What do you mean there's more than one Orange Line? Wait, how have you not known this, Arnold? No, don't confuse me now. You're trying to say there's more than one Orange Line. How can there be more than one Orange Line? There's just one Orange Line, the Overground. The Overground, the one Orange Line. How does that make any sense? All right, mate, chill out. I was just asking which one. There are more than one, there's like 6. I know it is kind of confusing actually now thinking about it, but yeah, there's loads. I'm just asking which one. So as you can see, a distinction between the different lines would have aided in these two friends' communication about where exactly they are and how they're getting to where they're going. But what's really core to the new namings and colourings is that it will allow for people to build new relationships with the specific lines they use. You know, I'm now going to hop onto the Windrush line, you know. It has a distinctness to it, which I feel like prior to the different namings and the different colours, it didn't really have it. So I think it's a nice thing to see, and I feel like it will take some time, as with any type of change, any big change that happens, takes time to adjust to it, but I think this is good for the people of London. If you look underneath there, you can kind of see where they're gonna rub it out. It's kind of hard to see, but maybe from that angle, you can see the new signage underneath. All you gotta do is just rip it off, and it's there. So the Overground is changing. There's no going back. Let's see what the changes look like once it's been implemented onto the network. Hello, Future Nathan speaking. It's been a few days since the new Overground names have been fully introduced onto the network. So I'm gonna have a little look around, see the new signage, see the new posters and maps and whatnot, and kind of give my perspective on it. I think the concept's great. I think it will take time for people to adjust to it, but I don't know, I'm just excited to see what it looks like. Yeah, and here's a Overground train coming now. You gotta love it. I like it so far. I think it's very easy to distinguish between the different lines. You know, the blue is for the Mildmay, you know, and the yellow is for the Lioness. You know, it's very clear, you know, you're not confused about where you need to go. Oh, I just spotted somewhere that doesn't say specifically which line it is. If you see up there, it still just says Overground in orange. Someone at TfL needs to fix that ASAP.
An operational incident.
Yeah, Mildmay. You know what I'm saying? It's clear, it's obvious where you are. So I'm going to Mildmay Line, and then here I'm going to the Lioness. You know? Oh, it's clear. I feel very not confused right now. So what do I think of the new signage and maps? I mean, I quite like it, to be fair. Again, I think it's needed. I was a fan of the idea from the beginning. The names, still gonna have to get used to the names, but I think it's implemented well. I think it's very clear and it really does illustrate where you need to go and what platform you need to go to. And I don't think I actually mentioned this, but back when they were deciding the names of the lines, I actually got called in for an interview, I guess, or a meeting of some sort to get my opinion of what I think the line name should be. And none of the ones I suggested got picked, by the way. None of them got picked, but I still gave my point of view. And it was nice to see the direction that they were trying to go towards with the namings and whatnot. One of the names I suggested was the Brunel line. Obviously the East London line for obviously the first underwater railway line in the world. And I feel like that would have been such a fitting name for the line, but I see why they went in the direction they did go in with the namings. But again, yep, it's just something that I will have to get used to. Definitely. Well, I'm also not completely a fan of the announcements. They sound quite robotic with the new naming. Like it says wind, rush, mild, May, instead of it flowing nicely. I don't know if that can be changed, probably not, but it just does sound a bit robotic. Also, with the Class 710s, they don't have the announcement. It just says this is the train to and then destination, whereas the Class 378, so the older Overground trains, have the announcement saying the line is on. Maybe that will get changed in the future. I imagine it would do. Just for some clarity, but yeah, it was weird not hearing it say the name of the line you were on the newer trains. But who knows? Also, I wasn't really sure how they were going to implement the changes because I'll be honest, I'll put my hands up. This is not the first day I saw some of the posters, okay? I was out on a train the other night and I noticed the new maps and I was like, oh, okay, but it wasn't everywhere and it wasn't on every train. but I did have a little glimpse of it. I'd have a little glimpse. So I have seen it before, and I imagine they did it in stages. So they did it on some trains and some stations, and then I think as it got closer to the date, they wanted to officially release it. They took them out in majority, took them off in majority, sorry. So yeah, I think that was probably the best way possible. I honestly thought they were going to do it all overnight. I thought they were going to have all the new maps and the new everything, signages and whatnot, all put on in one night, which now thinking about it is quite a lot to do. So yeah, it makes sense they didn't do it like that. So the new Overground line names are here and they're in full force. What do you think of the new names? And if you had the option to change any of the names, what would you change it to? Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Wait, how does that even make sense? How can you have more than one of the same line? That makes no, what? The orange line, the orange line that goes from, no, this can't make any sense. This can't make any sense. What do you mean there's more than one orange line?